9/11 was a turning point in historian Michael Petru's life. As a journalist, he covered the fallout in Afghanistan, embedded with Northern Alliance troops battling the Taliban.
You're in trenches, and the Taliban were a few hundred meters away, and the Northern Alliance and the Taliban would shoot back and forth and trash talk each other on their radios.
But those fateful events resonate differently with people under the age of 25, the majority of whom weren't yet born when 9/11 happened.
I probably heard about it in the context of restrictions and the ways that life has changed after, and the ways that we move and we travel.
My dad would actually tell me the story of my uncle, and he actually worked in the Twin Towers. And he was supposed to go to work that day, but he ended up getting to work late. And by the time he got to work, the attack had already happened.
I remember learning about 9/11 in school. I'm not exactly sure what grade, probably around grade 7 or 8, we went into more detail about it.
They may have learned about 9/11 secondhand, but in their young lives, they've also learned about terrorism firsthand.
I feel like it was the first terrorist attack I've seen, and I've continued to see more even growing up, especially with the Manchester bombings that happened at the Ariana Grande concert, the Paris attacks.
There are also personal attacks based on ignorance.
Hearing comments like, oh, are you related to Osama bin Laden? Muslims are terrorists and all of those, because that's what had shaped a lot of people's perception of Islam. So hearing the racist comments and the Islamophobia and all of that, that definitely stuck with me for a long time.
The consequences of actions taken by political leaders as a result of 9/11 continue to hit home today. With everyone else, young people have watched the recent withdrawal from Afghanistan.
The whole reason that people justified the war was that it was going to stop terrorism. It was going to stop impunity. It was going to stop the way that organizations like the Taliban just take out their ideology against women and ethnic and religious minorities.
They're trying to make sense of those events and criticize the actions of people during those events without that sort of background music of shock and horror and anger and trauma and revenge seeking.
Each generation processing the events of September 11th, 2001 in their own way. Anne Gaviola, Global News, Toronto.